Is an old car entitled to new parts and accessories as part of their claim? We're going to answer that question and talk about the interesting concept of depreciation today. What's up? Happy Friday. This is Tito Talks, non-life insurance discussions once again with your favorite Tito Miguel who loves to make non-life insurance discussions easier to understand for both agents and clients. Magandang Friday po sa atin lahat. It is the end of another work week. Congratulations on making it to the sweet weekend. And before we cap off your work week, we are going to finish off strong with another interesting lesson here today at Tito Talks. This Friday, we're going to be answering a very interesting question which we posted in our last video, which talks about the propensity or the possibility of old cars receiving new parts and accessories as part of their claims. Is that supposed to happen? Can it happen, or does it always happen when it comes to insurance claims? And wouldn't that be violating any rules? Wouldn't there be any additional questions? The simple answer to that question is a resounding yes. Of course, especially if the claim suggests or the damage to your vehicle suggests that the vehicle is entitled or the vehicle needs these replacement parts, these replacement accessories, especially if these parts and accessories have been specifically and categorically stated in the policy. If it says that this part, this accessory, which is part and parcel of the car, is covered, then yes, it is covered. That means the old car will still get new parts as part of their claims. But it's not that simple. There are other things to consider. Other things, such as if you take a look at the dictionary definition of the word depreciation, it is defined as the actual or the unavoidable loss of value, loss of market value of a particular asset as time goes by. And this applies to the things that you insure. Your house, your car, so on and so forth. This is especially true when it comes to car insurance and property insurance. The older something gets, the less value it has. And this is mainly because of several reasons. Number one, you're using out the economic lifespan of such an object, of such an asset. The more you use your car, the more the car is exposed to wear and tear of daily usage. And even if you don't use the car that much, it still stays there in your garage, acquiring dust, exposed to the elements. There is still depreciation going on. Same thing can be said with certain pieces of property. The longer you have them, the more you use them, there will always naturally be a depreciation in value as long as you don't put any upgrades on it, which would then, again, increase the value of said asset. And when it comes to depreciation, and we'll focus mostly on the motor car side of things, the car side of things, depreciation or the concept of depreciation has two very important implications when owning a car. Number one would have to be the natural decrease in your yearly premiums. Yes, that's right. So that's a little bit of good news. When a vehicle is insured for the first year, for several years, there is a standard decline in the value of the vehicle, which means it takes less and less money to cover the vehicle's market value because we base our coverage on the market value of the vehicle, i.e., the older the vehicle, the less value it has. That means smaller sum insureds, smaller coverages. And you know what happens when you have smaller coverages. You get smaller premiums as well. So as agents, it's best to set your customers' expectations. Yeah, the older the car gets, it's going to get cheaper and cheaper to have that insured. But that's just half of the concept. The second half of depreciation refers to claims and is closely related to the question we talked about earlier. Now, returning to our answer, yes, a vehicle or an old car is still entitled to brand new parts. But take note, there is a mismatch. There is a mismatch in value. Old vehicle getting new parts. That sounds like an upgrade to me, or that sounds like that sounds like a profit if you take a look at it. And profits are not allowed in insurance claims as mandated by the principle of indemnity. No, you cannot. And I repeat, you cannot profit. Clients cannot profit from their insurance claims.
Paano yan, Miguel? Kailangan kong mag-claim. Nasira sa sasakyan. Kailangan bilan ng parts and accessories. Wala akong magagawa. Kailangan mo talaga bumili. Sorry.
Yeah, that's technically correct. I agree. No contestations there. However, we would be violating the principle of indemnity, which would make this practice prone to abuse. People would be getting in accidents or would be reporting accidents just in order to get replacement parts and accessories for their vehicle as part of their as part of their motor car claims, which is something we would like to avoid as well, which is why there is such a thing known as depreciation charges. Yes, I'm using the term charges. Ooh, quite scary, but they are quite scary to be quite honest with you. What are depreciation charges? Now, depreciation charges refer to a certain share. That's right, a certain share that the client will have to spend whenever they get replacement parts. Yes, that's right. So, for example, if your 10-year-old car gets into an accident and it needs a new bumper because the bumper it has is no longer usable and can no longer be salvaged or repaired, we would opt to get another bumper for the vehicle. That means we're going to have to buy a new bumper. Old car, new bumper. That's a mismatch. And since we can't find any secondhand bumpers readily available, it leaves the insurance company with very little choice but to actually buy a new bumper for the old vehicle. Here's where the depreciation charges come in. The customer, the client, the insured is asked to share a portion of the expenses towards that bumper. Not kidding. This is standard practice. Depending on the age of the vehicle. The older the vehicle, the larger the portion the customer has to share in the expense, regardless of what type of part of or accessory you're talking about, as long as that part and accessory is covered. Meaning, if let's say a bumper would cost, for the sake of computation, 10,000 pesos, and the insurance would buy a new bumper for the old car, depending on the age of the car, the customer would have to share a certain percentage of that 10,000 pesos. There are cases wherein the older the vehicle gets, the larger the share of the customer. But you can always be guaranteed that the insurance will always have the bigger share of the expenses. It's never going to go beyond 50%. But the customer will still be asked to pay for the depreciation charges. And you're going to see that in the breakdown of your claims, especially when it's time to pick up the vehicle.
Wait a minute, Miguel. You're telling me I paid for premium and then I'll also pay deductible, and if my car needs replacement parts, I also need to pay depreciation charges? Aba!
Yeah, I know. That sounds really frustrating on the end of some customers. It's a lot of charges, but they are there for good reasons. They avoid abuse and they allow us to keep premiums at a certain level. However, that doesn't mean Tito doesn't have a couple of insurance hacks that should help you overcome depreciation charges. And as I've said, yes, insurance hacks. And no, I'm not going to go to jail if I tell you these things, but they are here to help you out. What can my customer do to deal with these depreciation charges? Well, number one, your customer can actually agree to have surplus parts, grade A parts, premium copy parts, imitation parts, or accessories to be applied or to be installed in the vehicle instead of proprietary parts. And when we say proprietary parts, this when we use the term proprietary, that means original. legit, galing mismo sa manufacturer. So instead of using proprietary parts and accessories, we could use surplus accessories, second-hand accessories, or grade A accessories, which don't necessarily come from the manufacturer, but also get the job done. However, this is highly situational. Some insurers will allow that, some insurers don't. Some dealers will allow that, some dealers don't. Some repair centers will have that option, some repair centers don't. So it's on a case-to-case basis. But your customer needs to be aware they can request for these types of replacement parts if they're not willing to pay their depreciation fees. And then again, Tito's got one more hack, and I'm sure you're gonna like this. Yep, you read that right. You can have Tito insure your car. What's the difference? Are you going to charge me depreciation costs? Only in certain conditions. My insurer or my insurance provider actually provides a very, very interesting benefit for motor car owners. As you can see, our insurance company or the insurance company that Tito represents has its own repair center. You heard that right. The insurance company that Tito represents has their own repair center wherein we also hire people straight from the dealerships to work with us as well. So you're guaranteed experts, accredited experts, looking at your client's vehicles. And if you send your vehicle directly to Tito's insurance company for repair, this will guarantee zero depreciation charges. Just in case you'll need replacement parts and accessories. Let me repeat that. If you choose to insure with Tito's insurance company, this is not an insurance company named Tito's Insurance Company. This is an actual insurance company which Tito represents. If you choose to send your vehicle directly to this insurance company's repair center, yes, they have their own repair center. If you choose to send it to their repair center for repairs, we will waive not just the depreciation charges, but also deductible fees. You're hearing that right. So, it's one of the special benefits for choosing the insurance company I represent. And if you want to learn more about this insurance company, leave me a comment or send me a PM. Send me an email. Usap po tayo. I can get you really good deals that will help you avoid depreciation charges and deductibles as well while still getting high quality support for your claims. And with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in today. Let me give you our question of the day, and this is going to lead into a very interesting topic next Wednesday. You're gonna love this. Can insurance companies buy insurance for themselves? Isn't that an interesting question? Tell me what you think in the comment section. Tell me about your opinions. Tell me what you think. I'll be more than happy to have a discussion with you on the possibilities of this question. And this coming Wednesday, we will be talking about the answer to that question and a couple of more interesting things. So with that being said, once again, this is your favorite Tito Miguel, always saying, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.